Dear Lawmakers, I write to you as a lifelong Democrat, an injured worker, and an American who has spent over $20,000 on immigration lawyers and government fees for programs later struck down. My family and I trusted you to represent us, but your silence and inaction on immigration and workers' rights over the past 8 years have caused irreparable harm. Your recent support for the Laken-Riley Act, a bill that profits from immigrant detention, confirms what has become painfully clear. You serve corporate and elite interests, not the people. This betrayal is personal and political, and it demands accountability. The Laken-Riley Act. A profiteer's dream, the Laken-Riley Act allows states to sue the federal government for immigration enforcement failures and mandates detention for minor offenses. It is not about justice but profit, feeding the detention industrial complex while tearing immigrant families apart. To my Washington state representatives, Kim Schreier, Derek Kilmer, Susan DelBene, Rick Larson, Adam Smith, Maria Cantwell, and Patty Murray, your support for this bill shows your alignment with corporate interests. You have actively chosen to prioritize profits over people, enabling policies that scapegoat immigrants and dehumanize vulnerable communities. 8 years of silence on immigration for 8 years. I begged you to support the American Families United Act, which would have provided dignity and stability for families like mine. Despite my persistent efforts, I was met with silence. Only Rep. Pramila Jayapal eventually spoke up, 3 years late, and only after a Texas representative broke the silence first. Your inaction has cost families like mine dearly. Programs that could have helped us were struck down, leaving us financially and emotionally devastated. Your silence is a betrayal of immigrant families and the values you claim to represent. Workers' rights. Abandoned for corporate interests as an injured worker, I have firsthand experience of your failure to protect laborers. My father-in-law, an immigrant, worked himself to death in Washington state. My brother-in-law recently fell from a 3-story roof, breaking his back. How will he be treated under the policies you support? Your silence on federal workers' rights issues and your alignment with business interests have left workers vulnerable. While you claim to fight for labor at the state level, your actions at the federal level tell a different story. A lifelong Democrat's betrayal, I have supported the Democratic Party my entire life, believing in its promise to fight for justice. But your actions, supporting the Laken-Riley Act, remaining silent on the American Families United Act, and siding with corporate elites, have shattered that trust. I am a man of peace, but I cannot ignore the hypocrisy of lawmakers who pretend to care about immigrants and workers while enabling policies that harm them. Your silence has allowed fear-mongering and profiteering to thrive at the expense of human lives. Demands for accountability. I demand answers to these questions. Why have you remained silent on the American Families United Act for 8 years? Why did you support the Laken-Riley Act, knowing it would harm immigrant families? Why do you prioritize elite profits over the rights of workers and immigrants? I also demand compensation for the harm your inaction has caused to my family. $5 million in damages for the financial, emotional, and physical toll of your betrayal. Immediate action to address systemic injustices facing immigrant families and injured workers. A call to action. Your silence and betrayal have caused immense suffering. You have aligned yourselves with policies that dehumanize immigrants and strip workers of their rights. This is not leadership. It is complicity in oppression. History will not remember you kindly if you continue to serve corporate interests over the people. The time for excuses is over. The time for action is now. Stop betraying the people who trusted you. Stand with workers and immigrants, or step aside for those who will.